while other ways of being are disadvantaged or marginalized. And so it's not just about like, oh, well, this individual has a bad experience, and so therefore, like, we can say, well, it's just that individual. If that individual had spoken better, or if that individual had smiled more, or if that individual had more income growing up, then those things wouldn't have happened. Where like we were saying, like that individual is kind of trapped in this mesh of different identities that they might be a part of, or different groups that they might be a part of. I'm sorry. I sort of made a list of some of the different types of repression that occur to me. There are other ones that, and you didn't get one of these, Rich, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
So there are probably other things that we could talk about. Racism, classism, sexism, heterosexism, which is the privileging of people who are straight, and homophobia, which is the kind of fear of people who are gay, and those work together, but they're not exactly the same thing. Transphobia, anti-Semitism is prejudice against Jewish people. Ableism is prejudice against those who are disabled or differently abled, or the privileging of people who are able-bodied. Colonialism, it's a funism. It's not that fun.
Can I jump in for a second?
Yes, okay.
Can you, based on what you see here or in the show, where do you find this in the show? Where do you
find racism in Christmas Eve.
All right. Why?
Because she's a very racist character.
It played that way.
I feel like with the way the script is.
Yeah, even though it's weird, because even though they kind of said that they weren't trying to play
But,
that way.
Her main song is "When You Love Someone."
Yeah, we chose not to play it that way, but it was problematic for all of us.
Yeah, I wish Christina.
Oh, so she has like a
Yeah, like
Yeah.
she has
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like even though they say it wasn't meant to be that way,
like it clearly it was.
With even though just that the question came up about Checky Monster and Kate Monster being related because they're monsters.
Right.
It's like, oh well, they're black and you're black. Are you guys related? It's like it goes.
You know each other, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that. The question came up at all. That's a bit of racism, I think.
I was just thinking monsters. And I actually I left all of these blank spaces because I thought it was possible that, not just that I had left things out, but that there would be things that you wanted to add to it.
I was ahead of you, so I just.
I'm sorry about this all.
Oh no.
You know what I noticed? Even though Princeton helps Kate get her monster school, he still kind of calls it stupid.
Yeah.
Just like, he's like, Al, I want to help her get the money for her stupid monster school. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay.
But then he says things like, "I wouldn't be welcome." So
Maybe that's why he's mad.
Like he wants to make her happy, but he's kind of reluctant to do it because he knows that he won't be accepted there. Like it's not something like he can go and see his own creation.
Yeah.
They won't he's scared they wouldn't let him in or something.
Yeah.
Might have been out of anger more so than him being
Yeah.
just mean. I'm sure
Or
he
he
was
did
mad.
just think it was stupid.
Yeah, that's like come on, go to school.
Everyone's a little racist. What do you in that song? What do you see happening in terms of speaking about racism? Do you see how do you feel about that song in particular? Do you see it as a positive? Do you see it as it pushes it, says things that are mean?
I think it's positive because you can look at things two ways, a negative way and a positive way. I mean, it's just like, sure, the things can be bad, but it's like they're more so just saying what actually happens. So it's not like they're saying, this is what I say and this and that, but it's more like, this is what happens, and it happens. If we accepted it more often, then it maybe wouldn't be considered racism. We can just know, oh yeah, some people think that, but I don't think that about you, you don't think that about me, so it's not true, like with the jokes.
I think like I think they're getting racism and prejudice confused because like it's not clear in this like monster world like who the ruling class is, but like racism is an institutional system of oppression. So like there's a difference between racism and prejudice, and like making like racist jokes, like I don't know, for like a real person example, like if a black person were to say something prejudiced about a white person, that wouldn't be racism, that would be prejudice. So I think that's probably I think that the language is a little problematic. And then also they're saying everyone's a little bit racist, and they're not saying and let's work on that, they're saying and that's okay.
And
But
that's
like
okay.
And there it is.
yeah, that's, you know, there it is, but like I don't know. I don't know.
Because I mean, there's lines in there like where they're saying like, you know, Mexican busboys should learn
Yeah,
to
that
speak
one, that one.
And they're like,
So, I mean, how does that, yeah, like, how do you react to that? Because what's tricky, it's actually kind of like what we're talking about with Christmas Eve. They're using her to make a point, but in that use of her, it's offensive.
Exactly. Yeah, I think
So I feel like this song does that a little bit, just not as
I
much.
think probably they were using that to like illustrate a point, but I think that I don't know if that was their intention, but I think probably when people hear the joke, they'll just be like, oh yeah, those Mexicans, like rather than saying, oh, you know, this character is saying something that's like problematic, and that's the point. I think probably.
Yeah, they played off as a joke. I'm sorry.
I think the song is more to like address the elephant in the room than do anything else.
Okay. It's just like, there's a part where like Gary Coleman's like, I can't even get a taxi. And so that's like, and I think that, I mean, I think that's funny probably to black people and white people, but it's kind of referencing that white cabbies don't stop for black people, or that like, you know, most people who drive a cab are afraid of black people.
Yeah. I think probably like when like other black people laugh at it, they're like, yeah, I can't get a cab either.
It's like
Right. Identification.
I think like maybe someone could be like, I wouldn't stop for him either.
Like, ah, ha, ha, ha. So it's like, wait, no, like,
Yeah.
you should laugh at that.
Do you feel like that's a conversation starter, or do you feel like that's kind of...
It depends.
I feel like the song's a conversational starter because, like someone said, addressing the elephant in the room, a big problem in America is that we tend to throw all of our problems in this little room and just keep it there because we'd rather not talk about it than, because I think this song is maybe like a first step, because if maybe we start talking about it at first, like, that's kind of true, that happens, it'd be better than just like, we're not racist in America, when technically I think I'm a little racist.
That's true. I think that I agree, and I think that it could start conversation, yeah,